Fraser came to my door one day, some years after we'd got into FARMAX, and we always had a system where we did a lot of autumn planting onto summer fallowed land. And that was a big task, 450 odd hectares, took quite a few days. And while we got a contractor to do it, there was a lot of hands on deck, making sure everything was flowing, the fertiliser was there, the seed was there, the sheep were doing the right thing, the spraying was happening ahead of it or whatever. And a couple of days after, or about 10 days after that had happened, he arrived at my office one morning, knocked on the door, and he said, "Are you available to talk?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, come in, sit." And he came in and he sat down and he said, "I spent 2 hours on FARMAX last night with a laptop on my knees." And he said, "I went for a farm drive yesterday and the crops were all coming up, and I had a look at the soil moisture that's still there. And we're 400 cattle short to consume the feed that we're going to grow in the next month, 2 months." And I said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm absolutely sure." I said, "Shit, I haven't budgeted. I used to run the financials, and he ran that side of it, the supply and demand and the recording process of the paddock events, etc." And I said, "I haven't allowed the money for," we were talking 400 18-month steers or bulls or something.
It's a lot of dry matter.
And he said, "Actually, Dad, it's worse than that." He said, "It's really 600, I think." He said, 400 if it's an average, but I think we're doing better than average. He said, "It's probably 600. And I said to him, "Look, you've worked this out. You're sure it's right." He said, "I'm absolutely sure." And by that stage, he had established himself so well on FARMAX that he actually was making predictions and what have you. So I said, I'll ring the bank and organise the money, and you get on the phone to the agents and let's try and have it all sorted by 5 o'clock tonight. So that's the faith that we built up in the decision-making processes. Now, we followed that acquisition and we put in all the costs of drenching and cartage and what have you. And when we sold all the animals that we bought in 200 dairy grazers, and when we added it all up, that 2-hour thing led to a $100,000 increase in productivity in that year.
Gee.
That was just one option. Now, the interesting thing, by the time the other fellas who weren't using that software were aware that there was a feed shortage, the cattle market had moved so much there was no profit in them.
Yeah.
And the worse than that, they didn't even know they'd missed out.